we interrupt this program with a special report.
I got a message for all you folks out there in Radio Land. So sit tight and bend an ear.
Welcome back, everyone, to another week of the Manga Monday show. My name is Ben, and I'm with my co-host
Edgar.
Edgar. Welcome back, Edgar.
He's here.
Edgar, is here.
I'm here.
He's here.
I was circling around the mic.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just before we get started, we have a little bit of a sponsor, and it's us once again until we find an actual sponsor.
Can we get rid of these sponsors? They're starting to bug me.
No, these sponsors are starting to take up too much time. But no, we actually wanted to thank you guys just real quick. Yesterday we had everywhere on our social media platforms, on our YouTube, on our Spotify, we had an absolute high amount of listeners, an absolute high amount of followers, an absolute high amount of subscribers. We had 5 subscribers yesterday. We had reached 100 followers on Instagram, and we had a number of high viewers on our Spotify for the last Manga Monday show.
Thank you so much, guys.
We want to thank you guys. Yeah, it's really a lot of fun, and we do this for ourselves so that we have further knowledge of an industry that we want to become a part of, whether it's in voice acting, whether it's in novelizations, or whether it's in manga creation. This is what we love to talk about, and we're happy that you guys are joining us.
We love sharing it. So even if it reached one person and if you're like, hey, this is cool, we're like, great.
Yeah, exactly.
We think it's cool too.
Exactly. So just a reminder, if you're a new listener, hit that subscribe button, be a part of the Manga Monday show. Also go on our Spotify and our Instagram. We post clips there. We also have a new channel called the Manga Monday Show Clips, where all those Instagram clips are just going to go on there, and maybe in the future we'll add more stuff on there.
Highlights and stuff like that.
Yeah, just
the best of the best.
The best of the best. Exactly. Exactly. This week... Last week we had a really, really busy week. There was a lot of news. There was a lot of stuff to talk about with Thor and Dragon Ball and all that stuff in between. But this week, Edgar, this news week was kind of slow, so we're just going to, chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we didn't really talk about, there's been a lot of stuff going on in our lives, and so we're going to spend a good 20, 15 minutes just talking about, what's been going on.
Yeah.
So, Edgar, what have you been doing? What have you been reading? You went on vacation recently?
Yeah, I did.
Big stuff going on.
Yeah.
You're wearing a muscle shirt? Edgar, what's happening to you?
No, it's just a tank top.
Yeah.
In order to be a muscle shirt, I have to have muscles, Ben.
Right.
Which I don't.
True. I don't either, but that's
it's just hot now, and I'm like, okay, this is enough. Even like short sleeves
It's
is
so
like,
hot.
It's too much.
It was. I think the high was 108 yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking
Crazy.
of hot, I did go to vacation. I went to Vegas,
Very
which is
cool.
super fun. Well, I mean, fun is a stretch, but I enjoyed my time there.
Whoa, fun. You didn't have fun?
Well, I mean, I liked it a lot, but it was like there was not much for me to do there. It's like everyone who knew that I went there was like, "Oh man, did you go crazy?" You're like, "Well, no. For one thing, I was with my family, and two,
Right.
I don't really vibe like that. I'm not out to like get drunk and like lose thousands of dollars or something, as most people do.
But then why do you go to Vegas?
Well, my dad had a job to do there, and then for like a few hours, and then like we just spent the weekend there. So we just walked around. We visited all the casinos. We did bet a little bit. We did gamble a little bit, and then we ate at fine restaurants, and then we just like saw the sights, saw
Very
the
nice.
fake Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that's cool.
But like I knew a lot of things about Vegas, but I did not know they smoked as much everywhere.
Oh,
Like,
everyone smokes in Vegas,
which didn't bother me as much. But they did smoke. But marijuana is legal there, and I don't really care if for people who smoke marijuana, but this is like in public, which technically you're not supposed to do. But it was like a lot.
Right.
And I hate the smell of marijuana because it smells like skunk to me. So
Yeah.
it was just. But not only that, but there's like a lot of homeless people, unfortunately, there.
Yeah.
And that sounds like weird to say, like, ugh, homeless people, like, but there's like a lot of them everywhere.
Right.
There's a lot of crazy people there too. Like, I just saw like a lady just like flip up a garbage can and just start digging. Like, she just like dived her head in there. I'm like, okay, like that's cool.
So this is where we are.
Yeah, and it's also like street
Right.
performers are just neat. everyone's ugly. Everywhere,
God.
everywhere you looked, in every direction in their own way,
Yeah.
is ugly.
Wow. Wow.
But and there's also tourists there.
Right.
So, but a lot of people drink. Yeah, you can drink in public like a lot,
Yeah.
like inside too, and just in and out, just bring out your, which is so crazy. I just never got that. I just never like. Yeah, it's really not my vibe.
Yeah.
I'm not. And it's not me. I might sound like a Boy Scout saying that, but I'm really just like not that kind of like a guy. Like,
No, I feel
it
you
is super
exactly,
dangerous too.
yeah.
There's a lot of sketchy stuff going
No,
on.
definitely. Like when you told me you were going to Vegas, I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, I guess there are some things that you can do like in Vegas for
Yeah.
yourself. But it is, it is in the middle of a desert.
That
and it's,
yeah, a high point of like one of the good things and few good things about Vegas was that the heat, while technically hotter than Texas, is better because it is dry out there.
Yeah.
And even in the sun, you don't sweat as much. Yes, you need to hydrate yourself like crazy, but you don't sweat nearly as enough, and you do need more protection. But at night, it was cooler, and in the shade, it would be cool. Because in the shade, when you're standing out in the shade here, you're still sweating, which sucks. You get in your car, you sweat immediately. You exist outside, you start sweating like crazy, which wasn't the case over there.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about you going to Vegas, and he was like, oh, it's probably really hot over there, and I was like, yeah, but at least it's not. And he was trying to tell me that Dallas isn't that humid, and I was like,
It is
I was like,
humid.
Dallas
It
is
sucks.
humid. I was like, for a city that isn't on the coastline, it's humid as hell. Like
Yeah,
it is humid.
It sucks. I hate
Yeah.
it. And obviously, like, living here has like way more perks, but like that was like one thing I liked. Like, man, it is like technically hotter, but it is not that bad.
Yeah.
I just wore a sun hoodie, and usually I'd be sweating like a lot out here,
Yeah.
but with my sun hoodie long sleeve, and I just put on my sun hoodie for sun protection. I wasn't sweating like at
That's
all.
why I actually think it feels better when the weatherman comes up and he's like, oh, it's going to be extremely hot heat waves coming through in Dallas. I actually think it feels better in the night during those times than normal nights in Texas heat because it's not humid.
Yeah.
And so and if it's windy, it's a nice 85, cool
Yeah.
breeze.
This year has
you
been
know.
more humid than most,
And more
like,
hot than most.
Oh, yeah, 'cause it's getting warmer.
insane. Yeah, of
It's-
course.
it's
It's all
warmer.
getting warmer. Yeah.
But also, I went to Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, good.
Some of the finest food I ate in Vegas, and
Sure.
probably some of my favorite food. It was great. We didn't get to see
Right.
Gordon Ramsay though, but it was fun.
Yeah.
As for what I've been reading and watching, I've been on the seasonal anime. I
Okay.
started. Holy crap! I'm sorry. I need a list. As for watching, I think you're gonna hate me for this. Not really hate me, but I
Oh.
started reading. My ex-girlfriend is my
My
step-
ex-girlfriend, my
my-
stepmother is
is-
my daughter's girlfriend,
yeah,
ex whatever.
the crazy one.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's all right.
No,
I
it
just,
doesn't look bad. Yeah.
and Rent a Girlfriend season 2. So like all
Okay.
the degenerate anime.
Right.
And actually, gosh, I think that's the only seasonal one right now going on because Call of the Night isn't on Crunchyroll or Netflix, which sucks. And I'm not caught up with
Right.
Overlord and Classroom of the Elite yet, but I am watching those anime. I watched Pirates of the Caribbean. You caught me watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was like, who is
like-
talking in Edgar's room? And it was Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is really good. That trilogy aged like a lot. It aged
Yeah.
up a lot better. It's really good. If you like One Piece, there's like a real live action.
Right.
Probably gonna be better than the actual One Piece live
live
adaptation.
No, definitely.
But it's really cool. And as for manga, I read the new Chainsaw Man chapter that just
Good.
came out. The second one, the second chapter for
I
part
haven't
2.
read that yet. Yeah.
It's really good. The My Hero chapter was really good.
I forgot about that. We should probably talk about that. Just touch on it.
You wanna do it a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's talk
let's
about
do
it
it
right
right
now. Yeah.
So spoilers for because it's just the current.
Yeah, just skip 2 minutes and we'll probably be done talking about it.
Or yeah. It was really good.
It was really good.
A lot of these chapters have been super highly detailed. I just
Yep.
feel like because I feel like after season 5 and after season 6, people kind of like left My Hero in the dust, and with the movie as well, where people kind of like tossed it to the side, even in the manga.
You mean season 5? It is
No.
season 5.
Oh yeah,
is-
season 5. I'm sorry.
Season 6 is upcoming.
Yeah. I feel like after season 5, people like kind of left it in the dust, not caring about it, and it's not
Yes.
as popular as like because One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen have been like making like big impacts like in their
Yeah,
manga.
those are the most famous. Whereas One Piece hasn't been as famous as this for a long time. I don't think, except maybe since Dressrosa.
Probably. But like One Piece, like I heard like this One Piece chapter, and I'm like reading My Hero, like, hey, this is pretty good, but like, can we talk about this for a second? And like people like tend not to care about it as much. There's like the My Hero fandom's still on it. It's just I feel like the whole manga like fans are like not on it.
I think especially in Japan, it is the biggest manga that's outcoming right now. That is weekly.
Really?
But other than Jujutsu Kaisen, probably.
Yeah. I would imagine. I figure like even One Piece would like, at least be popular.
Oh
there,
yeah,
like-
But One Piece is big worldwide, so that's going to echo all around the world. But you are right. My Hero Academia has become, not
for its
not
final
talked
arc.
about.
For its final arc, it should like.
Yeah.
I mean, Chainsaw Man is back.
it's back.
One Piece is coming back from its hiatus. Black Clover is coming back too.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't, I'm not saying it's not like dragging behind, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. If it doesn't kick up into third gear,
Yeah.
which I feel like it might be now,
It will, yeah.
it's gonna get left behind in terms of popularity.
I think My Hero's popularity. I think most My Hero enjoyers watch the anime. Like I just think
Maybe when the
majority of
anime,
them.
if
Probably-
done well,
yeah.
it'll pick back up.
Probably
again.
80% of the watchers
Yeah.
of My Hero watch the anime and don't read the manga.
But even when the war arc was going on, I felt like, I mean, that was its best arc as current right now. So people were there for that because like
I know,
crazy stuff was going on.
I thought the war arc had just a huge reception. Like I feel like every week it was being talked about, but now it feels like every week it's One Piece, it's Jujutsu Kaisen.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like
Man.
I felt like even though the manga and anime are separate in a sense, the anime kind of killed the hype because people were just let down by it.
No,
and
definitely.
People were like, oh, if they can adapt the second best arc, how are they gonna do the next one? You know what I mean? So like.
That's not our opinion.
No, yeah,
by
it's
the
just
way.
like- that's
we
just-
don't think the My Villain
Yeah.
arc is the second best.
No, that's just what people in the consensus.
Yeah,
believe.
of course.
But this arc, but this chapter
Yeah.
was really good. But one of my minor gripes with it is I feel like the major fights in this final arc has been ending after like 1 or 2, 3 big hits,
Yeah.
like attacks, and we haven't got like I feel like Endeavor's fight was only like 3 chapters or 4 chapters long.
Yeah.
With All for One, which I felt
Yeah.
like should have been like longer. Because
I
if that's
think-
it, if that's All for One's end, like that version of it, I feel
Well,
like that'd be
yeah.
like a,
well, All for One. I mean, if that version of I know that version of All for One is immensely weak at this point.
Yeah.
Like
But I felt like
he's
his
been
end-
beaten up by All Might way too many times.
But it looks like he had something up his sleeve and like the
yes,
last
and
one.
I think that comes with.
So hopefully that's not it
Shigaraki.
for him.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But that and Todoroki's fight with Dabi, if that really is, I mean, as awesome as it was, but
Yeah.
that was like also wrapped up in 3 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were saying, "Oh, it's getting too rushed," and I was like, "I think you're pushing a bit. I think you're reaching there."
Yeah.
But I feel like it's starting to feel like it's catching up to me.
I see how
I'm
you can
fearing
see,
that that's where it's
yeah.
going.
I see how some of the other audience members think that it's being rushed, especially with the the Tartarus escapee capture arc. I think that's the official name of it.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of parts. You could have done a lot with that arc. You could have had Deku work with like the villains and stuff.
I
You
wanted
coulda-
more
yeah.
overhaul. I really wanted more overhaul.
Yeah, you could have had a more of a closure
Gentle
to
Criminal
those.
was in
yeah,
that
Gentle Criminal.
bunch who escaped. I felt like he would have
Yeah,
been.
Stain. You could have had a good moment with you. They still did, but there is a possibility. I was talking to Edgar that I think there is a possibility that those villains will be a part of this arc, and they will join in.
Yeah.
I think there will be a moment like in the war arc where, and that's something that Horikoshi does really well, where the heroes are on top and then they're not, and then the villains are on top and then they're not, and then something happens. But I do see what you mean about the finishing of. But I think for these side characters, like like as much spotlight as Endeavor has been getting, he's not one of the main.
But Todoroki and Dabi
Todoroki
has to like.
I don't think Todoroki and I don't think that's finished. I think that there is something more to happen because Todoroki didn't suffer enough, and I will it's not that I want Todoroki to suffer. I don't think he had to try hard enough.
I don't think Todoroki is out of the picture until the very end. I just meant his thing with Dabi is like certain point of the story.
I think they did this so that Dabi can like recuperate a little bit because he was already burned from like fighting before, right? I think there's gonna be something with the ice that he like froze him with that's going to like awaken something in Dabi, right? Because he is, because he
it's
is,
funny. Like I wish that it doesn't end there, but I feel like if he comes back again, I'd be like, well, he's back again. Like so, like I mean, not that know what I mean. Like I'm kind of
it might be that Horikoshi just doesn't have enough time to draw it as beautifully as he wants. I don't know.
I mean, it's not I don't want him to lower the quality. I just want more time with these like moments and like these like fights.
Yeah, definitely.
That I really want drawn out. But I really what I really do like about these fights and like everything that's happening in between, it's not world building. I'm gonna call it like battle. I sent you a text. It was like it's like basically the battleground exposition. It's like when they talk about when they show what's going on behind the scenes, like with the floating island, basically, and like how they're keeping everything afloat, all the people, what they're doing specifically. Like, I think that's really cool.
Some people genuinely hate that.
What?
Because they think it's putting Momo and people like Kaminari in the background. But that's why they had their moments in the war arc,
Yeah, that is true.
Momo had that big moment where she took down Gigantomachia,
But I like it, and it shows like the business class. Like, I like that little moment, how they're still like relevant, even though they're just all they're doing
I
is
really
recording.
like that. I really like that. It's how we won this fight. It's a bit of a stretch, but but I get what you mean, but I genuinely like that. And of course you have the you have you have the support class there too.
They're too,
like
they built everything.
The guy with the helmet who's like he was peering through a window, like he was like, don't tell me like it's getting destroyed. But a big part of this and the last chapter was Bakugo
and his giant bazooka.
He's got a gun. Oh no, he's got a gun.
He's got a gun. America the quirk.
Yeah, exactly. America the quirk. That's basically Bakugo. Yeah. But then that fight was
ended short again.
It was ended short, but
obviously Bakugo's not out of the game. But you know what I mean. This particular fight ended.
I'm just interested to see what is, and that's something that I've always been interested in because we know like that there can be moments for people like Uraraka's final boss is Toga, and Shoto's is Dabi. But who is Bakugo? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. Like, who can Bakugo fight?
Unless it's just him teaming up with
him
Deku
playing support for Deku, and that's like a.
But I hope it's like support in the best sense of the word, not like as in like a sideline. Like,
exactly.
Oh, I can't do it, so you have to.
But Edgar, he gets, he
might have lost his arm.
Whooped. He gets whooped with an H, with a capital H. He gets whooped. This
God,
chapter.
It was so gorgeous.
And it was beautifully done. Like, I think in terms of villains, I don't know if in terms of like simplistic character villain design, Shigaraki's design in these past couple of arcs has
panel
just been so good.
Is the one where he blows off his arm.
Oh,
I don't know what he does with it.
I think he breaks it, but I don't think he blows it off.
It's so good. Fantastic. That's why this has got to go.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that was like one of the strongest moments of this chapter. Yeah. And then and Bakugo's just like, oh man, he just completely obliterates him.
He gets destroyed, and I had to reiterate to Edgar that he's not using any quirk.
I felt like
this is his base strength, and
that's broke. I mean, I was not only was I super confused, but if that is the case, I'm like, how? My theory is that it's the quirk Doomsday Theory device has something to play into it.
Well, I think,
or All for One, something crazy, or maybe just Erasure doesn't. Something's like not computing. I hope they explain it more. I
think it's because of because Shigaraki is screwed up at this point because he has first of all, like there is an argument and a theory that his erasure quirk isn't even, or not erasure, that's Aizawa's, his disintegration quirk isn't even his.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that it was All for One who gave that to him because he was the descendant of one of the One for All users.
So he gave him the quirk knowing
so
it ruined the...
Yeah, it would ruin
this
the
guy's
family.
pure evil.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like that theory because Shigaraki, like, he was scratching his face and it like was irritating him and stuff, and and so it looked like the quirk didn't fit him, and I do like that theory.
I do hope that either way, regardless of what the answer is to that, I hope there's an explanation, because I'm like completely
right. But he's messed up from that, and he's also been experimented on by Dr. Garaki, and he got put All for One. He basically has this demon inside of him. So I just think it's all of this stuff, all of the quirks he has been given, all of these experiments that have been given. It's made his body like basically, completely deformed, and the quirks have basically become him,
Yeah.
So.
And I just love that. What's the bunny girl's name? I forgot what her name is.
Oh,
Mirako.
And
Mirako and Best Genius are doing their best to keep up with the fight. And then it's like, oh, you want to get close to me? It basically like obliterates everything.
Yeah.
And my favorite panel, your favorite one is like with the building.
No, I love that one too.
But
is that where he sees Mirko?
No, that's after he blows everything up.
Oh, okay.
My favorite one is where his face is kind of burnt up, but it resembles like All for One, and he's like just smiling so sinister.
Yeah, that's great.
I believe your favorite one was
my favorite one was when Aizawa was talking, and Aizawa was like, "Hey, like, no, we need to somebody save Bakugo. He needs to graduate." And then it shows him basically
he needs to graduate. Somebody help Bakugo's grades because he's not gonna graduate.
He's not gonna graduate. Somebody help.
He has to submit his final test, otherwise he can't.
But I love that. And Aizawa, he's really desperate for these people to survive, but he can't do anything because he's down an arm and a leg.
I love Monoma's like struggling to keep his eyes.
Monoma's like, oh god, but I love that. I love the imagery because Bakugo is right in front of him, and Shigaraki's right there, and then Yue, the main building of UA, is behind him, so it's like there's this wall.
It's like the opposite of we live in a society, like where Deku stands in front of it, but this time it's Shigaraki.
But the reason why I love that, and I don't know what it's been ever since Star and Stripes came into the story, the way he's used the screen tone has been more. If you don't know what screen tone is, it's the black dots that are used basically in manga that are used because it's easier to create gray, and our eyes trick us, and it makes gray.
It fills the gaps.
It fills the gaps, exactly. And
it's used a lot in like the old school Marvel comics and DC comics. So
exactly.
You can see it.
But you see it, and it's more prominent now. Like it used to be, you would look at it and then you'd be like, oh yeah, those are dots. But now you look at it and you're like, those are dots. But it's like Horikoshi is, for this arc, distinctly taking from Marvel, from DC,
because it's a superhero manga.
Yeah.
It's like kind of romantic for him to use that kind of style in a Japanese manga.
Yeah,
it's really great. But I've only picked up the manga after into a few recent arcs. So maybe he might have been using it, but
no, I don't think he was. He was using screen tone in the more Japanese, the Japanese traditional way, which is you kind of you look at it and you go,
they use lines a lot more, like lines
they use lines a lot, but Horikoshi, he always used screen tone, but he used the screen tone where you look at it and you just go, oh, that's gray, he colored it gray, but if you look closer, it's screen tone, so
yeah. My favorite, the moment that gave me chills, obviously Shigaraki like fighting in Bakugo, but the one that gave me really chills is like when you see in the rubble, because like it shows like way behind on the building just got destroyed was like you can see Hado and Tamaki, the big three, and I can imagine like the scene, like you can hear you can just hear like the background noise of a battlefield, and you can just see like Tamaki's like sighing, and they're both like exhausted because they could barely anyone could keep up in this fight.
I hope Dismuke is back for this,
and because he's like,
I deliver it really well.
Like, I really just wanted a proper graduation ceremony, and that was like the biggest death. If that ain't a death flag, bro, I don't know what is.
I think
I'm scared for all of them, especially Tamaki because he's the one that delivered it, but even Hado because they're both like exhausted and like they're about to do something like but Mirio, he like
Yeah.
Oh man.
The way he comes up, he's like, I don't know. But the fact that he knows that they're so outclassed, and he says, we're just gonna save some time, is what really worries me. Is that you're like they know that, because when he was facing Overhaul, he's like, I will protect you, I will defeat you and protect Eri. But now he's like, all right, we gotta save some time for Deku to get back here. But Deku, he's a little bit preoccupied. I don't think
something's about to happen. Yeah,
something's about to happen with Deku, and I think he's busy. Do you think maybe the people coming towards him, do you think no, because it has to be All For One related, because he has a thing up his sleeve. I was about to say,
like to imagine that it'd be a combination of both.
Do you think it could be Gentle Criminal and all of them, or maybe
that, or somebody else in play that's just as important, that's orchestrated by All For One, of course. But I'd like to imagine if it's just another Nomu, bro, I'm gonna shoot myself. I'm tired of Nomus at this point. If it's just some faceless monster, I'm gonna lose it.
But what if it's Nomu of heroes that died recently?
That'd be disgustingly horrible.
That'd
be
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
I meant disgustingly horrible in the coolest, in a good way.
But I think it is.
I hope it's either a character that we know or a new villain that's in play with something that happened, or well, I don't want just a new face. I want someone.
We know it has something to do with the quirk erasing bullet. So I think. I do think Deku is going to lose a quirk or two to this guy.
But how would they choose what? Because if it just shoots him, shouldn't it just turn on? Is that how it works? Because they just shoot him once, shoot him again for another one.
It's a good question. We haven't shot anybody who had multiple quirks before, so we don't know. But it might be a thing of God, that would be so sad. That person just disintegrates, this, the soul of this person that'd be crazy. Yeah.
But I was telling you that I really hope Hado gets a moment, a big one too, because it is putting it lightly that she has been thrown off to the sideline like crazy. For when the big three were introduced, we knew they were going to be prevalent, and when they were introduced, they each got a big moment. Mirio, obviously, he was basically half of that arc.
Well, Tamaki had a nice moment there too.
No, I'm just Mirio got half the arc focused, because it was him overall, or him and Eri basically were the new big characters, and Tamaki had his whole own episode, and he was with Kirishima along the way fighting in the same agency.
There were two main portions of that arc, and it was the Night Eye agency, and then it was the Fat Gum agency.
So he was in it a lot. And then Hado just didn't get anything, because
well, I guess we did have she was a part of the Dragon
but
agency. She did have a filler.
Not enough, but she did not have she did not have anyone to fight. Barely in anything, and after that, she was hardly involved, just in one attack or two.
Yes.
But now seeing her with in this final moment, I want her to man, why should I was asking myself, wait a minute, why haven't we gotten anything? And she has to, and I love her new design, her hair is cut it's I love the way her hair is cut. I'm bro, if she gets killed off, or if she just gets sidelined again, Horikoshi hates women. It's 100% guaranteed. But that is unfortunate. That's one of the low points of this series, because how the women are poorly written to an extent, because you have a Mirako. She's pretty prevalent in all these fights.
I do think they get better moments than a lot of animes I've seen, though.
Yeah. It's just Big Three is such a stinker moment on My Hero, because Big Three, you get one, go away. Really, and it conveniently happens to be the only women of the three, which isn't a good look. So I hope this is something building up. Either way, it gets me hyped to see the three of them going to be fighting or doing something. And and I hope it's not, it's not an effect of if it doesn't become an effect of this quickly wrapped up two attack or 3 sequence fight that we've been seeing. Hopefully we get more chapters.
This should be a good fight. I mean,
I hope I hope they last more than 3 chapters, because
I'm just saying,
and these chapters are already really short.
Mirio is the antithesis of Shigaraki, right? Because Shigaraki, when he I would love to see that. I don't think I don't think.
Oh, you mean like the perfect opponent in the sense
Yeah,
like
yeah,
where
yeah.
anything Shigaraki touches can destroy, but Miura can go through anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Physical.
So like, I
A
mean, that
perfect
might,
villain. If Overhaul was a perfect opposite for that too, because anything
Yeah.
he touches he can rearrange and make a weapon or destroy. So
Exactly.
this is a really good fight coming up, because this could be like,
Yeah.
I have my power, and luckily I mean, as far as we know, there's no bullets to erase quirks around here in
Yeah.
this particular fight. So it could last a bit longer than Overhaul. So hopefully we could see like a little bit something.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you have Tamaki and Hado backing him. So I
think-
really hope for something good.
I think it would have been nice if maybe they had Mirio, like, his design change a little bit, because he looks exactly like literally tit for tat exactly how he looked in season 4. But
I mean, so does Tamaki. I mean, I think they all have.
Well, I think Tamaki and Hado, they just look more roughed up. I think maybe like.
Well, yeah, because Mirio can go through things, and he has.
Yeah,
he has been
of
fighting.
course.
And Hado looks different because of her haircut.
Right.
She kind of looks like a cooler Uraraka with her outfit on. I just realized.
Oh yeah, she does. She
and
does.
her lighter
yeah.
hair.
Well, that's the whole reason why Uraraka went to that agency, is because
because they knew they're going to
similar.
sideline both of them.
So, yeah, oh,
they're going to put them off.
I don't know if Uraraka has been sidelined.
Not anymore.
I think she's gotten more than a lot of the.
Well, because she's
people.
like Deku's like love interest, and
interest,
she saved them from that riot, and she had that moment with Toga.
Oh yeah, that was a good moment. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this. I wish people would give this manga, at least right now, more current attention. But I also, like I said, 17 chapters, technically 13 if you count
17 pages, you mean?
17 pages. Sorry, 17 pages. Again, like under 19.
Right.
Because this one had like a special cover for the 8th anniversary of the manga.
That's like 3 special covers.
Yeah, and it was beautifully drawn and like great, but it
great.
took up a big.
I would not have been angry if that was a volume cover, like the all for one staring down Deku.
Oh, you mean the one that showed up in the Shonen Jump magazine?
Yeah,
that one
was great,
really cool.
But Edgar talked about how he liked the new volume cover for 35. I liked it too.
Yeah.
Where it's like the circle of Deku and Shigaraki, and it's like them upside down.
Oh,
they
yeah.
both have their hands out like this.
Oh, yeah, that one's really good.
That one's really good.
Those are really great.
He's getting a little bit more experimental with these covers, and I
Yeah.
really like it.
I mean, it looks like that these highly detailed chapters are at the expense of like the short, a few pages, because there are shorter chapters. If that's the case, I wouldn't have that much of a problem. But if he had the time, like I said, if he had to go bi-weekly, if that's all it took just to add a few more pages to the chapters, I wouldn't mind at all.
Yeah, well, that too, and it just feels like a different manga. Like, I don't know how to put my finger on. Well, I do know where to put my finger on it, but it's like the paneling too. Where like if you look back at the paneling, and there's this specific chapter where Best Jeanist was facing off against Shigaraki a couple chapters ago, where like the humans, they're outside of the chapter or outside of the panel, and he does these new experimental stuff that I'm really digging. Like, I'm really, really interested at Horikoshi's his new the way he's newly designed this. It just doesn't look like any other My Hero arc I've ever seen.
He's evolved truly as a manga.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just wish we can get a little bit more. Give him
Right.
some time. Like, please don't rush him.
Especially
with this new editor. I hope.
Yeah.
If he just started now, if we've already seen this together, it's going great. Like, I just hope with this new editor, I was hoping for a bit more pages.
Horikoshi, it's fine in the early battles to have just shorter stuff, shorter fights, that end in 1 or 2 hits, because, majority of My Hero fights end like that. But the good fights, the really ones.
I mean,
that
this
we
is
look
where it
forward
matters.
to.
Like, this
Yeah.
is it. As
This
far
is-
as we know for this.
I think this is still the beginning of the arc. I don't because
No, that's what I mean. Like, this is like the final big arc.
Yes,
like,
of
this
course.
is like where all
This
the
is-
attention should
This
go.
is where everything should fall into place.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, Deku versus Shigaraki needs to be at least 15 chapters, or 20. Like,
Bro, it needs to be at least
it needs to be
18.
Like, it needs to be back and forth. It needs to be, because that is what a good fight is it sways back and forth, and sometimes this guy has the upper hand and sometimes this one, and then the hero doesn't have the upper hand, and when all looks like it's going to fall, the hero finds a way, and just like what's the best fights in this? All for One versus All Might, Overhaul versus Deku. Those are the good fights that teeter on back and forth. Endeavor versus the Nomu, even, like those are really good fights that have had a back and forth, and that, I think we will get eventually. But I don't think the puzzle pieces are quite. I don't think the pawns in Horikoshi's chess is quite where everyone is or needs to be yet.
I hope that's the case, and because if this is like it for these few moments, I'll be disappointed, to say the least.
Definitely.
So hopefully there is more, and hopefully we get more. We are getting a lot. We're getting good stuff. It's great.
My only worry is that I don't know what other villains there could be. Like All for One, Shigaraki, Dabi, Spinner and Toga are the only ones that I can really.
I wouldn't
think
have.
of.
I wouldn't have that worried if these fights just went on a bit longer. Because if these were all the villains we're getting, drag them on a bit.
Yeah.
He
did,
like,
I know he did. I know there was it was a long time ago, and I bet you don't remember this, Edgar, but I do. Like he talked about there being generals in All for One's army in the past. Do you remember that?
You mean when they mentioned the Paranormal Liberation Army in the very beginning? Or
No. So there was.
Oh, when he talked about his past, like
they talked about like how all for One's like generals were in Tartarus, and there was like 5 of them.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, didn't we see like 1 or 2 of them?
We saw the silhouette, and one of them was Control. I think his name was Control Freak. He was the guy who like puppeted and almost killed Deku. I think he was one of them. So maybe those are the people who will come in and who have to face Ida, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like we haven't been given much attention. I feel like they're just like, oh, here they are. Oh, we kind of showed up one of them. We didn't build it up.
And if they show up, it will be a little bit anticlimactic, but still, Yeah.
I'm really liking it.
Me too.
I just hope. I heard that Chainsaw Man's manga Fujimoto was getting a lot of less pushback since he switched to Shonen Jump Plus, since that's now where he's officially publishing it.
Oh, good.
So he has more creative freedom, and he has more time, and he doesn't have that much like big deadlines. So his art is improved a lot, and apparently he's able to do a lot more.
Shonen Jump Plus has less deadlines, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
Everyone's like, Horikoshi,
God,
maybe
put me on Shonen Jump Plus, please.
Horikoshi, please. Like, can you move over there?
That would never happen.
I know they wouldn't let him go.
They wouldn't let him go there. No.
Oh man.
Chainsaw Man Fujimoto. He's lucky that he did this fast, because if the anime came out and it became as big of a success as they wouldn't
give him that big of a break.
They wouldn't let him do that. No.
Yeah. So
no, definitely not.
You're doing great, Horikoshi. I can't wait for the next chapter. I'm actually really looking forward to the next chapter of My Hero, which I haven't. I mean, I've enjoyed these chapters. I just haven't looked forward to one in a while.
I look forward to it every week, but sometimes I'm just a little bit late. Like I'm always like, oh my God, it is today.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I want to be knowing when it is, not like new
I think
chapter.
it has. I do have to say it has been a little bit overshadowed by One Piece, which is a little bit sad. Because,
it's just not surprising. It's just it's not getting enough attention.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like the most we talked about My Hero on the podcast.
Isn't that weird? We need.
It was definitely longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
so
we need to milk some of this My Hero stuff. We're only now milking the Dragon Ball stuff. We need to milk.
It's just My Hero. Like everyone, I'm impressed that we didn't touch it, considering how overpopular and how much we like it.
Because we want to talk about things that we haven't seen, that give our honest reaction.
Pretty sure everyone else is tired of My Hero.
Exactly.
In a sense,
we'll talk about it when season 6 come out. We're gonna milk that well dry.
As much as they will.
Yeah, exactly. Just as much as any other content creator will. But if you want to learn more about My Hero, there are thousands of channels dedicated to it. And those are channels that I watch as well, and I just watch them and I'm like, I'm not gonna do a better job than these guys.
I don't know any. One of them's Pineapple something, right?
One of them Vocal Pineapple. Another one is I think another one is Party Quirk, or there's a whole bunch of ones that are like Quirk blank, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but Also, yeah, because we're talking about what we
talking
did.
about what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like a lot. But
Sorry,
that
I said it would be 2 minutes long, but we were just too excited.
Don't worry. Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've read any. I don't think I've read anything else other than that. I got a good manga haul. Ben, what have you been reading specifically? Anything other than My Hero?
Other than My Hero, I mean, of course, I've been reading One Piece, but that's been on break for a month. But I'm very excited. There've been these little chapters that they've been releasing, which is just character designs, and it's been called The Road to Laugh-Tell, and you don't know what that means until you get to that part, and I won't say what it is, but it's just been character designs all the way from the beginning of this saga. So it's like all the way from the zoo arc to, you know, to the Whole Cake Island
aquarium arc,
to the aquarium arc, to the Jump Rope Canyon arc,
the Bicycle Hill arc.
Yeah. But yeah, so and it's really interesting just to see all that stuff, especially for somebody who, you know, wants to do this for a career. It's just nice to sit down and look at that. I've been reading the same culprits. I've been reading Black Clover. I'm not almost done, but I'm almost done to the point where we can talk about it.
A good portion, a good portion of it at least.
Yeah, definitely. As I'm editing One Piece, I've been rereading some of the chapters and stuff, so that's been a lot of fun. I read Blue Lock, finished the first volume of that. I've been reading Soul Eater, which has been very good.
You finished Ranking of Kings, didn't you?
Yes, I was about to talk about that. I just finished Ranking of Kings.
Yeah. Verdict?
Brilliant. 10 out of 10. It's been a while since the finale of a first season of a show made me not cry, wail. Like I was
really?
Yeah, I was like,
so sorry for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is there a whale in our house?
Hey, shut up. You know. But yeah, it's just, oh my God. Wit had done such a brilliant job.
Everyone says that Will fell off. No, they didn't. Wit fell off. They didn't.
They didn't. No, definitely not. And it's interesting to read the manga of it too, because the manga is done by an unknown comic book studio, and the design of it, you know, is very cutesy, but it talks about very serious stuff. But it's stuff that really hits home for me. It hits home of stuff that reminds me of Vinland Saga, and it makes me think this might be the best thing I've seen since I've read One Piece, you know, since I've fully read One Piece.
Yeah, the design the design of the characters and the world kind of reminds me of Cuphead and kind of westernized cartoon style of what a medieval setting would look like, which is really unique.
No,
a very unique design
is. With anime, you know, sprinkled all over it.
Which it's one of the most unique looking animes out there, which intrigues me.
It just reminds me of storybooks you would read, you know, about medieval settings. But if you don't know what it's about, it's basically about this king who is deaf and he can't speak. But he wants to become a king, and nobody believes in him except this one guy who in the dub is played by ProZD. He's great. He's brilliant. But it's just this beautiful story, and it's been a while since I've watched a story since Game of Thrones, really? Where I've been like, none of every character has an alternative. Just like human beings, every person has such depth to them where you're like, okay, this person's one note. And then an episode comes out where you show their backstory and you're like, oh my God, this has just opened up this character to a whole new level. Why he did this horrible thing. It makes sense now.
Who knew that was the bare minimum to make good characters?
Yeah,
a backstory.
Backstory, exactly.
And depth.
Well, Game of Thrones does that well, but Game of Thrones does it where, you know, somebody spills their guts. But Game of Thrones is the best at it because, you don't like the Hound at the beginning, and then he becomes a fan favorite. You know, you don't like Tywin Lannister. Tywin Lannister, he's really cool, but he's also really awful.
Tywin Lannister is one of my favorite characters in fiction.
Isn't he? How do you write such a genius person?
and one of the best casting choices was Charles Dance.
Brilliant.
So
he's
good.
in The Witcher too. You know that? The
Really?
Witcher 3.
Who does he play?
He plays
Is it a
the
spoiler?
No. You've met him in literally like the first chapter of the game. He's Ciri's dad. He's the Emperor of Nilfgaard.
Will I meet him again?
Yeah, you'll meet him again.
Okay, I gotta
You'll meet him
listen to
multiple
that.
times. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Yeah, you just listen to him and you're like, oh my gosh, it's Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
But it's great. Yeah, it's just, God, I really want you to watch it and review it, Edgar, so that we can talk about it on the show. But man, it's just so angry because they don't have an English version of it out yet because it is an unknown studio.
All the goats don't have stuff like that, like Slam Dunk and
And
this one amongst others.
Well, Slam Dunk does have an English version on Viz, but it's not available to
print.
buy. You
Yeah.
can find it online and read it, but you can't find it online. You can't even find this online and read it. It doesn't have a first chapter for a volume. It doesn't have an English adaptation that somebody had written, and redone, except for some of the recent chapters. So there's a whole chunk of the story that just isn't there. So I'm gonna have to learn Japanese and then read it from there, which I am.
It's not
doing,
even like on. It's not even like on like virtual.
No.
Virtual like electronic books.
No.
Or
No.
Book walker. Wow, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it does suck, and it's just like I was
Even
'cause
Tokyo,
afterwards-
even Tokyo Revengers, for how popular it was, didn't have physical.
Yeah.
But at least they had like online, like they had the stuff
Yeah,
like
of
that on
course.
there. But not even this.
But it's like
wow.
It's like you've had that moment where you've watched the anime and you went, you finished the first season and you went, yeah, I'm gonna go read the manga, and that was me.
Mushoku
Yeah.
Tensei for me.
Yeah,
Amongst
exactly.
others, of course.
Of course.
I got to read a new volume, thankfully.
Yeah.
I haven't read One Piece. I haven't read a lot of stuff that I'm supposed to. Not supposed to, but I was like,
It's
originally,
fine if you don't read One Piece. Let me finish the edits. It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah. Because I was reading Mushoku Tensei. Same thing with The Witcher. I stopped
Yeah.
playing because I played Cuphead, and now I bought Elden Ring, even though I haven't finished The Witcher 3.
Don't finish The Witcher and then play Elden Ring.
I-
You're gonna get the mechanics mixed up.
No, believe me, because like, I die like 5 times, and I don't even know how to swing the sword. I'm like, bro.
We might need to have a session where I come over and I
Because you
just
can
teach
co-op.
a
I didn't know
couple
you.
things.
I didn't know you can co-op in.
Yeah,
Elden
you
Ring.
can co-op. I should buy it and we should co-op together. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
I think Eric also plays it.
He does play it, but he played like 3 hours of it and hasn't played it since.
Oh.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I finished the game. That's also something that I picked up. I finished Elden Ring, which was a lot of fun. I re-picked up Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm having a lot of fun. And what I'm doing is I'm playing it in the Japanese sub, and then I'm gonna play it again.
I'm not playing it in anime form.
Exactly, and it's great because Zoro's voice actor is the main character, so it makes you feel like you're Zoro. It's
Now
really
they have
good.
to recast Chris Sabat as the English dub.
Exactly.
That'd be funny.
It's obviously the actor who plays, but it's really a lot. It's really a lot of fun. I love Ghost of Tsushima, but I'm gonna play it again when I learn more Japanese, and I'm gonna play it with just Japanese subtitles. So yeah, that's gonna be great. And I've picked up a show that my friends have been wanting me to pick up for a long time. I started watching Ping Pong.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
Really good. The first episode was really good, really interesting, really fascinating. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Day 100 something whatever since I've mentioned shows for him to watch, but he hasn't picked up yet. You picked up Soul
come
Eater. That's
on. I picked up
you-
the mangas you wanted me to pick up.
Just Soul Eater was the only one I remember.
Blue Lock.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh yeah.
But you finished the volume and that's it. I'm just meant to keep going, is what I'm saying.
Right. I am going to keep going. I just can't. And Black Clover.
This is interesting.
And Black Clover.
Yeah, but
Black Clover,
I wasn't
Soul
that,
Eater.
I wasn't that heavy on it. I wasn't that heavy.
Well,
on it.
I wanted to go into Black Clover because it's on hiatus.
I'm
right
trying
now.
to think right now of what I want you to watch the most. What is what you want me to watch or read the most right now? Like the number one thing, other than One Piece, because I'm obviously not
You're
reading
obviously
that.
doing it.
What
yeah.
is the number one thing you want me to react or watch or read right now?
Probably watch Ranking of Kings. That's probably my number one right now.
Really?
Yeah. I really want you to watch it. I really do. I think that'd be interesting. I also would be interested in you reading Vagabond. That would be number one read and because it was Vinland Saga.
I got
but
Vinland
now that it's over and you got Vinland Saga
Love
now.
Vinland Saga.
But yeah. Oh, No, number one, Jujutsu Kaisen. I want you to read Jujutsu Kaisen, and you have all the volumes,
all the current
right there, and just begging to be read.
You figure you buy all of them at your disposal,
exactly.
and then you just don't read it. And
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I guess I'll read.
You should.
I guess I'll read it.
Yeah,
well, obviously. Wow, there's so much on my plate.
There's a lot.
But I'm used to it now. Like it's kind of like
at this point we might just wait for season 2 so that you can react.
Oh no, I'll probably read it before then.
Okay, good.
It's just like it's the struggle of like it's all too good. Like I like it so much where I'm reading it. I'm enjoying One Piece, but it's just like I have like other stuff.
It feels so long ago. Our first review was Jujutsu Kaisen content.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. Yeah. That's so crazy to me because you haven't even read the manga. That's just so crazy.
We were like, don't worry, guys. I'll read the manga and we'll talk about the manga. And then I haven't done it.
And then Mukoku Tensei came into the play. One Piece and all that stuff. But we go at our own accord. Eventually, what I would like to do is when we have a big enough following, I'll put a poll on YouTube, and then they can pick what you read next and what I read next. So that we can talk about that.
I think what I want you to watch or read the most, I want you to keep reading Soul Eater, but you're already doing that, so that kind of
that's my nightly manga that I read.
So that kind of doesn't count. It's either for me, it's gonna be Love is War. Or
that's next,
or Full Metal Alchemist, because I feel like that's just a big pillar that everyone should read.
I know everyone's like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter because you've seen Full Metal. You haven't seen.
I wouldn't say that, but there are a bunch of people that would say that.
Of course, you wouldn't say that because you're not gatekeeping.
Yeah. But I feel like with Love is War is like so not out there for you, but like I feel like out of all the genres that you've watched and read, you haven't gone into like romance comedy or slice of life that much.
No romance comedy. The only romance comedy that I can think of, but I think it's more slice of life, is Nagatoro. I think that's more slice of life.
And the what's that other one? March Comes in Like a Lion. That's slice of a life, right?
That's slice of life. Yeah. That's not a rom. It's definitely not a comedy. It is funny. No. It is funny at times, but it's pretty serious. It's about mental illness and stuff like that.
Because like Love is War, not only is it hilarious and has amazing dubs and subs that you would appreciate, but it's like something new that I want to kind of throw you into the water and see how you would react to that kind of like storytelling.
Don't skip that, Edgar. Don't skip that on your list. March Comes in Like a Lion. You'll love it.
No, I won't. I have it on my list.
Good.
Yeah,
it is brilliant.
I do want to. Before we move on to before we finish up on what we've done, there is someone that that is interested in talking. He's not a big guest, but he's a friend of mine who also loves like manga and anime. But it's funny because he likes a lot of the things that I like in terms of like romance comedy and the more degenerate side and like the quintuplets and all that stuff. It's like, oh man, I can we can be on the podcast. I can be on the podcast and talk about this stuff. It's like my buddy here, Ben, is not gonna know anything about that stuff.
Well, when I react to Love is War, we can have him on.
Because he loves that show, and we'll probably, and he had an idea which I feel like would be funny. We'd like to kind of throw at you plots and discuss on how much the bad, not quote unquote bad, Rent a Girlfriend, we diss on it and try to sell it to you, because
I'd be a good shonen junk.
The comments on Rent a Girlfriend episodes man, this is absolute garbage. The MCU sucks. Anyway, see you next week. Because that's basically how the fandom is. We all actively hate it,
but you're back for the next week.
Yeah, we just keep eating it up.
Yeah,
like a bunch of sad.
That's what I've heard about Rent a Girlfriend. It's it's like a frustrating masterpiece. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
They beg not to follow the manga because of the way it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well,
and there's a lot of people that I want to get on the show. Before we start outsourcing towards people who are actually in the industry.
I have someone. We have someone in mind, but we're just not that. We're not there yet.
We're not there.
To where
we don't want to waste our time.
Where our credibility isn't as big.
Exactly. But I wanna get Lauren to react to movies and stuff like that. And
I wish her on. I would have given anything to see her react to Your Name, because that was such a good. Or your reaction. God,
we should have talked about this on the podcast.
We still can.
We can do it. We can rewatch it in the sub, because I watched the dub.
I'd also like you to watch Weathering with You. Same creator. We can just throw two together, because that's so great.
That's what we can do. We can do that with Lauren, and then Do you know how many views we'd get with a title "Girlfriend Reacts to Blank"? You know,
The girlfriend reacts to Along with Third Wheel.
Along with Third Wheel. You know, but we can interview her, and then I would love to get Eric on and him to watch, you know, some more popular anime, and it'll be like Noob reacts to, because you know he's not.
Yeah,
into
for those of
anime.
you who are like, why would we listen to any of these people? Pretty sure you get tired of listening to us. But also, I just love talking with someone with different opinions and like
Yes.
different things of what they enjoy more rather than the things that
We
know.
wouldn't. I bet you $500,000 we would not bring anyone on if they weren't fascinating to listen to. Right? Like
Yeah.
I want to bring my friend Asal on because he is a living, walking One Piece encyclopedia. But he's
I'm gonna quiz
but
him
he's-
like-
but he's bad at spoiling. So like, I won't bring him on until you're finished. You know, or on a
Oh
specific
yeah, when Luffy
part, you
died,
know?
that was great.
Yeah, I am setting up something big for us. But Edgar has,
Probably when I have to
Edgar-
finish and catch up.
No, Edgar has to finish. Edgar has to finish pre-time skip One Piece before we do it.
Do you trust him enough to not spoil anything after that?
Yes, well, it's because we're gonna do. I'll say right here, I am planning it, and I promise we will do it eventually. And it's gonna be our biggest budget video. We're gonna do Jeopardy, One Piece edition pre-time skip.
I'm gonna lose.
Yeah,
Like-
and we're gonna invite some of our One Piece friends.
You
in,
should like
know.
throw in the miscellaneous section to where like it's all the stuff that I watched and like none of you have watched, just so I can earn a few points.
No,
Like,
it's gonna be a test for you, Edgar, whether or not you've actually been paying attention.
I swore to you, you've been paying
it's like
attention.
it's like.
Can you blame me? It's
yeah.
One Piece.
It's like I'm like Edgar. It's like when after a lecture, it's like take notes. There's gonna be a quiz after. It's gonna be like
all
that.
right, yeah, whatever.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, and also I want to do other game shows, other Jeopardies that are anime, you know, themed, because I feel like they're.
Yeah, I feel like
you
we
know,
haven't
yeah.
done that kind of stuff since like the
Yeah.
very beginning, like, with our tier lists and like
Of
it's
course,
been a while
of
since
course.
we've done that.
But I don't think there's a lot of, you know, I don't think there's because there's so many game shows that can have a like what's that one where it's like
Hey,
the
I'm pretty sure there's a
question-
Jeopardy One Piece
there
or
are
Monopoly.
there are Jeopardy. It's by Daniel Green, or what's his name? The guy who does the fiction news. He's really great. But he reviewed One Piece and he did a One Piece
I
Jeopardy.
just feel like you know how they have like these like a friends Jeopardy like at the
Yeah.
show. I feel like One Piece would be big enough to have something like that.
No, definitely. No, it definitely does. But what I mean is like overall like anime questions and stuff like
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
because I feel like
yeah.
that would cover the entire thing rather than just like the specific point.
yeah,
of the
like
story.
what's the game show where it's like you have 4 questions and the time and the sounds like dum 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 dum.
That's
dum,
Jeopardy, no?
dum. That's not. No, Jeopardy is dum dun dun da 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 da.
That's the
dun.
same thing. That's
No.
the you just sung the
Oh,
same
it's like
thing.
no, it's like you sit in a chair and then it's like you can ask the audience for like their opinions on it. What is it?
Oh, do you want to be a millionaire?
Yes.
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
could do. Do you want to be a millionaire anime
Oh,
edition?
yeah.
You know, that'd be a lot of fun.
I was like, you're singing the same. This is like the same show you're talking about. I
but
don't
if we did that, it would have to be with video recording. You know, we would have to be. It would have to be us in person.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. But that's exciting. That's for the future.
or you just
you know.
animate everything. You have to animate ourselves into it.
I have to draw all of it.
Oh my god,
Can you imagine that?
that would take like a year at best.
No, it'd probably take me a good 5 because I can draw. I don't know how to animate, so that would take me a long while. But yeah, that's just stuff. If you're looking forward to that stuff, hit the subscribe button. You know that stuff will come to your
Keep
way. You know?
listening.
Keep listening. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Edgar.
got a little bit of news, and then we'll get on to something
yeah,
else.
that's right. I forgot about it. We have
It's
even
small.
more
It's
news.
not that much.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
It isn't that much. Yu Yu Hakusho has now officially, and if not announced, they've
I
released
accidentally took this photo or this video on my.
a sweet video view.
Yeah. Totally.
Netflix has announced their live action adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho with character posters.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
I mean, take it as you will. I
As
mean,
you
they're doing it, and it looks like it's gonna be done by the Japanese, not like the Western
Okay.
Hollywood one.
So it's gonna be like Mob Psycho. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, you figure that in the hands of Japanese creators who are so close to the content source, they would be able to handle it well.
The Way of the House Husband live action I hear is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, but it's The Way of the House Husband because I mean it's easy to adapt. Like
there's a lot of things
you know.
easy to adapt, but I'm
but they still
surprised
mess
it still did that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's getting adapted.
I think it got renewed for a third season. That one, yeah.
The actual anime or
No, the live action version.
of House Husband.
House Husband, yeah.
Wow, that's more. The live adaptation is way more ahead than the anime.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
but
weird.
it's done by the Japanese, so.
Okay, that makes sense. There's one other thing that I had. Do you have anything other than the One Piece one, the big one?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead, because while I look for this.
Also on the live action vein, Edgar, this is so funny.
Yeah.
And I saw this and I was like, are you kidding me? So remember how last week we talked about no anime got nominated for the Emmys, right?
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop live action has now been nominated for an Emmy. Do you want to guess which one?
Well, it can be acting, directing, or cinematography, or music, or
it can't be anything good.
I don't know, costume design or editing.
So they got nominated for an Emmy for the outstanding main title design.
Well, did they mean like the opening or what?
Yeah, the opening. Yeah.
They just copied.
So the staff of the Primetime Emmy Awards announced on Tuesday that the nominated Netflix live-action adaptation of Sunrise Cowboy Bebop anime for outstanding main title design.
I guess, if anything, I guess that, but they only got that because of how great the original one is already.
Yeah, they were like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, like, this is so original. Do you know this is based on something?
Like, you know this is from something?
They're like, what?
And they're probably going to win it. So now we will have to say, every time we talk about the Cowboy Bebop live action, we will have to say Emmy nominated or Emmy award winning.
Just like
action.
Suicide Squad Academy Award winning for
Academy,
like the Will Smith one.
Academy nominated Boss Baby.
Yeah. That was nominated around the same time when I think Your Name came out.
Your Name came out, yeah. I think it won.
No, but oh my god, if it won, that would be way worse.
Wait.
But the fact that Boss Baby was nominated and Your Name wasn't makes me seethe so much, man. It grinds my gears. It Mondays my Garfield. It really just. I just don't understand why they can't like have eyes and like listen for once or something. Please tell me.
Because they think it's for. They think it's for
watch like Minions.
Children.
Watch like Minions like win this coming year or something like that.
Yeah. We've talked about this. We've talked about this before, and on the show that it's just like they think all animation is for kids and that's what it should be. Even though
do you know the West came up with something called the Sausage Party? You know how that wasn't for kids?
Yeah.
Clearly that isn't the case, but they just never seem to understand or listen.
Yeah, no, Boss Baby was nominated, but that might have been the year Coco won.
Oh, okay. Still just stupid that Boss Baby was nominated, but Coco winning was definitely deserved. But I'm still salty that Your Name wasn't even mentioned. Like, which
just
sucks.
like, not just Your Name, but even like films like Jujutsu Kaisen 0 or like Demon Slayer Mugen Train, like those could easily be nominated and win, if you just took a look at it.
Yeah.
But they don't want to, so there you
go. Vinland Saga Season 2 is officially coming on Crunchyroll January 2023. It's really soon.
Really soon.
I'm hyped, but worried.
Really soon.
Really soon. That's when Attack on Titan comes out. The final part, I believe.
But also they've been working on this for 3 years now. Yeah, it debuted in 2019. So.
Hopefully enough. Debuted in 2019?
Mm-hmm. The first season did, yeah.
Yeah, so that means less time since they picked it up.
2019, 2020, 2021.
Yeah, but they didn't start making the second season until after the first one was done.
Yeah, so
and
they had 3 years. 3 years is a long time to animate
Mappa has not
been
working on this thing for 3 years.
Wit has.
No, Mappa's doing this one.
Yes, but Wit started it, and halfway through, Mappa took it in. So it is.
No, they
same.
didn't. That information just came out like a year and a half ago.
No, because Wit was working on it, but they switched halfway through. That's why it's the same animators.
halfway
they
through,
so they
Wit
have
did
been
the
working
entirety
on
of
it.
season 1. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Wit did not halfway through the first season while they were working on this season. Halfway through the
I
second.
gotta look this up. There's no way that they picked up. I would have heard this. No way.
Mm-hmm.
When did you try vamping and talking about it while I try
Okay.
to look this up? Real quick?
Oh,
Oh, not like not like that.
you guys want to hear my scat? Boobity-bop, scoobity-bop, boobop. Scoobity-bop, boobity-bop. No, actually, what should we talk about? Vinland Saga is really cool. Did you guys know that it's one of my favorite manga? It's probably my favorite manga of all time.
You say I have to nail down your list because you say something new every time.
I told
and
you,
I always
Edgar.
forget.
These guys need to get us to 100 subscribers, and then we can do a 100, our like top 100.
Whoever followed us on Instagram, can you just do it with our YouTube video?
Yeah,
just
exactly.
With our YouTube, just so I can get
That's
this.
what I'm saying.
So I can figure out what this man likes and doesn't like.
But yeah, it touches on a lot of things that I really like the idea of, weapons being used. Like there's a lot of synergy between that and guns today. Like the ideals of the sword calls to you. It furthers your ideas of, hurting somebody else, and therefore Thorfinn doesn't want to deal with those swords. It's really great. Just the philosophy of, somebody who has murdered thousands of people having the philosophy to go, I'm not going to do that anymore. And this season, for those of anime watchers, you are in for a treat. One of the greatest manga moments ever happens at the end of this arc, and it will happen this season. And it has to do with Thorfinn and not Askeladd. Well, Askeladd is in this too, but he's really great. Thorfinn and King Canute. God, it's so good. And it's my favorite panel probably of any manga ever. There is one in One Piece that could rival it, but I don't know. Edgar hasn't gotten there yet, so I can't talk about it.
They're not announcing when the date announced, but I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that when we found out the information that they were picking it up, that they have started beforehand when they announced that they were picking it up.
There's no way they weren't working on it because it's the same staff. There's no way they weren't working on it after season 1, like immediately after. Because that's how long. Because they said because this took years, season 1 to make.
Yeah, because they took that long.
Because it's Wit. Because they took that long, and they were going to do it again.
I mean, but it was the same case with Attack on Titan could be said, but it didn't happen because
right.
it's the same. Well, it's the same staff, but doesn't mean
it's the same director.
But it's MAPPA.
I just think I think they were still working on it for a long time.
I don't think
because it was.
I don't want it to fail. I'm just saying
it was announced first. It was announced first, and then it was announced that MAPPA picked it up. Because it was announced first, and then after that they said MAPPA's doing it.
See, but that's what I'm saying. If they announced that they picked it up, did they just they picked it up? That means they start then. No.
I don't think that's when they start. It's sometimes I don't think it's like that. Like we said.
Oh, because you what?
I think Wit was crumbling as a studio. That's why the big merger happened. That's why all of this stuff happened, I think they were working on it, and then they dropped it, which is why we didn't hear about it for a long time. And then MAPPA was like, okay, we'll just pick it up from where from where we left off.
I don't know. Even I'm willing to bet that they didn't take 3 years. Might be 2 at most, but I don't know. I just feel even for that season, January 2023 seems. I don't know. It seems pretty soon, kind of close to the releases of Chainsaw Man, and I forgot what's the other one that MAPPA's releasing this year.
I'm not Hell's Paradise, that as well. But I'm not too worried because it's the same director. It's a different group of people. I think MAPPA hired them as their own independent thing, and all these other animators are working on Hell's Paradise, Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man. And Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm just worried. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I want to see it animated, and from what we got from the trailer was great.
And it looks like it did with Wit, which is what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want it to look any different.
Please let this be done well. Otherwise, the people are going to forget about it again because I don't want that to happen. But regardless, it's going to get a lot of traction because it's coming out on Crunchyroll now, not Amazon Prime.
And it can get a lot of hate too this season, so they have to animate it well. Because if you watch Vinland Saga just for the fights and not for the brilliantly psychological writing, then you're gonna have trouble
Yeah.
this season.
So
Yeah.
look for that on Crunchyroll, January 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Looking very much forward to it. That is all the news I got, other than the one that, other than the big one. You know.
Ichiro Oda.
Yeah.
He said.
What did he say? What did that little funny guy have to say?
Oh, funny guy said. He put out a really, really nice message to the fans, which was very heartfelt. It sounded like it was very heartfelt. Most of the time when he talks, there's a lot of ha ha ha, just kidding, LOL, stuff like that. But this one, it felt a little bit different. But yeah,
It hit different.
it did hit different. Ichiro Oda, by the way, the One Piece manga is coming back this week. For those of you who are interested, when I was a kid, I thought to myself, man, I would love to draw a manga with the most hyped final stage. I wonder if I'm up to it. Now we have only a tiny bit of the Wano arc left. The preparations are almost done. Took me about 25 years, lol. That said, it's fine if you start reading on from this point, because from this point on, it'll be the One Piece. The mysteries of this world, I'll be drawing them all. It'll be super interesting. Fasten your seatbelts, and please, please, please stay with me for a bit longer.
I heard nothing but one of the most hilarious replies from this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, are you meaning to tell me that everything we've been getting is filler and that nothing has been canon up until this point? Are you telling me that the plot is just now starting? And obviously, some of them are half kidding. Everyone is hyped.
Yes.
But I just found that interesting to where even from the few information that I've gotten from where One Piece is right now and where it's been through in the anime, it really seems like the focus wasn't on still getting to the One Piece. I could be wrong, but like that wasn't what I was getting. I just feel like running into like discovering the world and like finding out who's on top and fighting through the villains and stuff happening here and there, getting in their way, because obviously Luffy wants to be the pirate king.
You could compare it to things like The Witcher, like there is a goal, the ultimate goal of finding Ciri, but to get to that ultimate goal, he has to go through these other like millions of other goals.
I just felt like, I'm just wondering, I want to ask for someone who's obviously there in the manga. Has that and this isn't as a critical question, like it'll be bad if that is the case. But has finding the One Piece been like the most prevalent thing even throughout amidst the chaos and the stuff in these recent arcs? No. Or has stuff it's just gotten so in the way, like oh yeah, that's where, you know what I mean? Has that
No, it hasn't been the prevalent thing. However, it is one of the most prevalent things.
Yeah, because that's the whole point of it, but you know what I mean?
But like saving people and like entire islands that have been subjugated to slavery,
stopping villains and who not.
Stopping and all that stuff. Yes, definitely. But it is all coming together. There have been, in every arc, there have been these things that they have to do to get to the One Piece. And to be honest, this all started, the finding of the One Piece, the clue to finding the One Piece starts in Alabasta. So that is but this is the goal. But that's finding the One Piece isn't necessarily his goal. His goal is to become the Pirate King.
Yeah, but to get to be the Pirate King,
you have to find the One Piece. But he doesn't know that. At the beginning, he goes out and he goes, "Well, I want to be the Pirate King, so I gotta start and find a crew." And once he finds the crew, he's like, "I'm gonna go to the Red Line to become." And then when he gets to the Red Line, he's like, "Oh, what's the one? The One Piece. I'm gonna go find the One Piece." So
okay, yeah.
But I mean, the One Piece did spurn a lot of pirates because Goldie Roger says, go find the One Piece. It's out there and it's real, and that has spurned the greatest pirate era. That's how the intro to like the first part of the One Piece, the One Piece opening started. So
this definitely like answers my question of whether it'll be a saga or like a final big arc. Obviously, it was gonna be big regardless of whether it is. But like the fact that he said like, now we'll be focusing on the One Piece, I'm like, this guy can't do it. Like, it's gonna be we got a long time to go.
You got a while.
But it's just funny.
I give him 4 to 5 years, and I think it'll be done.
Jesus. Well, it gives me plenty of time in a sense. I still got a lot to go. I still got a long way to go. But man, that is just crazy. It's just like, and yeah, people were like ridiculously hyped and can't wait. It's just super interesting that something as important to being the Pirate King and by doing that, finding the One Piece has not yet happened. Yet you've entertained everyone so well and for so long, and now you're starting like your final act.
And it's not just that, like, there are some characters who I can't talk about, but we can talk about Shanks. Like, Shanks is a huge, huge mystery. How strong is he? Who is he? Why is he?
At least this can
all the stuff.
This can put some ease to people who wanted more Shanks, because it feels like now that the final preparations have been made and now it's on to that.
I'm not at ease, Edgar. I'm furious. I want more Shanks and I want it now.
Well, as you said, you got 4 or 5 years, buddy.
Yes,
You got time.
There better be a Shanks backstory.
That'll be one of his. If he doesn't deliver on that, that's a big yikes.
Yeah, definitely.
But even as someone like me, I can give him. I trust him to handle that.
I trust Oda wherever he takes it. He's given us, like, especially in this Wano arc, he's given us something comparable to the Super Saiyan transformation, and I really appreciate him for
now. You can truly call this show the One Piece. So, like,
exactly.
It wasn't before. I don't know what we were calling it before, because clearly it wasn't about the One Piece, apparently.
Monkey Boy wants to become Pirate King. Peace.
Yeah. I wonder who's going to be at the end of the One Piece.
Exactly.
Johnny Depp, probably.
And to go back, just to preface, right, so that people don't get mad at me and go, it's always been about the One Piece. Like, yes, it has. The show's called One Piece. I understand that. But what Luffy has done, right, he has never been really interested. He has been interested in the process of finding the One Piece more than finding the One Piece. And Edgar, I can't talk more about that because that's later on. So yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't really. I mean, it's all right. Either way, that was huge.
You got about 400 chapters before you get there.
Oh, one more small thing. I don't have.
Go ahead, bud.
Oh yeah. Also, do you see this? What's his name? Oda drew
Mihawk.
No, this is JoJo.
It looks like Mihawk.
It's Jotaro. Sorry, Jotaro.
Oh, really? And Oda drew him?
Yeah, but it looks a lot like Mihawk.
Oh, it does look like Mihawk.
So apparently,
that's great.
Apparently,
that's
several artists.
I've been really interested.
JoJo.
I've been really interested in starting JoJo's recently.
Me too.
I was looking at some of the stuff and I was like, this looks fun.
It's up there in terms of power systems too. Like, it's considered one of the best power systems.
I'm really interested in this.
But one of the funniest things out of context I got is that JoJo video is the guy with the cherry.
Exactly. Of course, we've all heard Golden Wind. We have all heard that theme.
Jotaro.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a JoJo reference?
But I want to tackle all of these shonen. And Edgar, I want to end with Hunter x Hunter because I know I'm gonna love it. From the way that you
want it to end with Hunter x Hunter. I feel like that's putting it too high of a. As much as I love Hunter x Hunter, that's putting it too. I feel like One Piece should be like the one to end with.
Oh no, I mean, like I've already read One Piece though. I mean, like, I want to read Naruto, I want to read Bleach, but I want from the big show.
Oh, you mean for you?
Yeah, for me, I want to end with Hunter x Hunter because I know I'm gonna love it. From what I've seen, so yeah.
I would read it before. I feel like it's just one, not as long as you think. And,
really?
And B, I feel like you'd be putting it on a pedestal too much to where you would
really
enjoy it.
Okay.
I mean, I might be downplaying it a bit, but I really.
What about the Chimera Ant arc?
Even that's pretty not divisive, but even that's contested.
I just think it's a funny arc name.
It is, but it suits it very well.
Good.
Yeah, I can't find the official source for the life of me. I'm so mad. But Black Clover is coming back.
Yeah.
It is officially announced. Tabata is coming back. I don't know what week it is. I believe it's at the end of January. It's like in 20 something.
End of January. I thought it was supposed to be.
No, sorry. July. Sorry.
July? Okay. I thought it was supposed to be a 3-month break.
I'm so sorry. No. Yeah. He is now coming back. Black Clover. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got so many big things coming back.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
Everything in its final arc. Everything is in its final arc.
Yeah.
I feel like there will be a time where we look at the Shonen Jump magazine and we'll be like,
who are you people?
Yeah, literally. I was about to say the exact same thing.
But
I think
Beku and Baron and Boofy, like
Boofy. Don't call him Boofy.
Next generation.
Don't call him Boofy, please. That should be the name of one of our Supreme Court justices, to be honest.
Boofy?
Boofy, yeah, because he boofs.
Boofs.
But yeah, I think where Shonen Jump is going, I think a lot of the good series is going to be on Shonen Jump Plus. But
Yeah,
we'll
but
see.
I do like where the future, like this final stage of like a lot of these shows.
Yeah.
Stories are
That
going.
just means people like you and me got to pick up the slack. You
Yeah,
know, when
man.
all these legendary series end.
Yeah, Berserk is coming. We didn't make an official announcement, but Berserk. No,
Berserk's
we did make
coming
an. We did make an
did.
announcement.
We
I'm sorry.
talked about it like
Berserk
a
is
whole
coming back.
episode.
I mean, it's not ending, but the fact that it's coming back, like I gotta get up on it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like I gotta start reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we got Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, this
Last
movie was
episode.
boring.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about last week in preparation for Dragon Ball Superhero for our new listeners. We're talking about the Super. So these movies are called Dragon Ball Z blank, but these are the Dragon Ball Super era. These kicked off a new generation for Dragon Ball Z, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So we started with Battle of Gods. Me and Edgar both really liked it. It's one of the best Dragon Ball movies. It was the first canon movie.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, we thought it was really cool. A lot of fun. Beerus and Whis were interesting characters. But now, Edgar, we have the return of Frieza.
I thought that something like that would be cool, but it's not.
Yeah.
I was actually rooting against him. I know he's a villain, but like, can this guy just die?
Yeah.
I am so tired.
I think the idea for Akira Toriyama to go, well, let's bring Frieza back, right? Without having a distinct like idea on what to do with him.
Yeah.
He
thought, I mean, I don't know how much of in charge of he was for this particular movie, but they thought that would be like enough, which clearly wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He wrote it, Edgar, by the way.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. But I mean, he does.
Well,
he does
we don't know if he writes it. We know that he does outlines for the story and how Toei Animation and how the manga get there have differed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But to sum up, I told Ben, like in the middle of watching this, like this entire movie has almost all the things that I don't like about Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The slow pacing between the fights, the characters standing around doing nothing, illogical reasons, characters not trying for the sake of I've been holding back. I know that's something that's there's a lot of those moments are done well in the series, but this one it just didn't work, and it's just like, oh man, I don't know what. The dialogue wasn't good. The fighting wasn't good.
This movie was saved by some top tier voice acting.
My favorite moments were the voice acting, because I was having fun again. Like, hey, Todd Habercorn was in this,
and Chris Aris, who sadly has passed away recently. He's a brilliant Frieza, and has been. He brings Shakespearean, British Shakespearean to such a good villain too. But he just was not written well.
Yeah, Beerus was my favorite. One of my favorite my favorite things about this. Like, just eating things and criticizing. Like, hey, why aren't you joining the fight? You stupid. Like that was like me basically, like watching this movie.
Beerus is like, no,
Yeah.
But yeah. It's just, and it's also, this happened with Super Saiyan 3, but Super Saiyan 3 has a drawback and this doesn't. What did you think about the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan transformation, or Super Saiyan Blue?
So was that supposed to be the higher version of Super Saiyan God?
So Super Saiyan God is
the red one, right?
Is a god as a Super Saiyan, right? But the blue one, right, is the Super Saiyan version of that. So he takes how he powers up into a Super Saiyan, but he puts it into Super Saiyan God. In reality, Edgar,
it's not the same.
In reality, they just needed to sell toys, right? That's the truth of this, right? So they gave him a Super Saiyan with a new hair dye to sell toys. And I don't dislike this form, but I do think that having a transformation without a major tonal shift, right? Because we have many transformation in Dragon Ball. Super Saiyan, Krillin dies. Super Saiyan 2, Android 16 dies. These transformations.
Whoa, man. Whoa. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, stop. These transformations, they have emotional weight and emotional impact. And when Goku does it in one of the least, the least
I
appealing.
thought it's
you
just
know.
you told me. Oh, this was the first time he's doing this. I thought he did it before because he just did it so
He
nonchalantly.
did do it before. He
Oh, really?
probably did it with Whis, and that's what the movie wants us to believe.
No, but like this is the first time
But
I'm
this
seeing
is the
it.
first time we're seeing
Yeah, that's what I'm
it,
saying. Yeah.
It's just so weird that Goku is like
This is-
Goku does it nonchalantly, and Vegeta like screams when he powers up. I just think that's just such a flaw.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did this happen?
This is the only one with his blue hair transformation, right?
What do you mean?
Is this like the only version? The transformation? We haven't seen him with blue hair before, right?
Yes. So this is the only version until the Tournament of Power when they get a new version. Vegeta earns a new version of it, which is called which he calls Royal Blue, which I actually like that transformation.
That's
'cause
later,
it's-
right?
Yeah, that's later. Like it's dark blue and stuff, and then he has like sparks coming out. That's really cool. But Super Saiyan Blue, it just seems like it's Super Saiyan that's blue.
Yeah, that's my point. Like I've seen this version of Goku a lot, just like in general.
It is iconic for the return of Dragon Ball. But
Yeah,
still.
but I thought that this version, this transformation would have a lot more importance weighted on it, along with Frieza's gold transformation. I thought that would.
Oh,
be
don't you mean Golden Frieza?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
well,
meme.
spot on. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a meme. Anytime anybody in Dragon Ball Fighters turns into Golden Frieza, they go, get ready for Golden Frieza, and he transforms because he in the Tournament of Power, anytime he does, he goes, now you will fight Golden Frieza, yeah, it's
Hey, Crunchyroll, get this guy on Super.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but he's like I said, I was telling Edgar about, like, Edgar was like, the return of Frieza was very underwhelming, and watching it, you're completely right, it was. But when Frieza does re-return in Dragon Ball Super, he's brilliant. He's the best part of the survival arc.
Yeah, that was not.
And
I found that hard to believe just because of this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't see how they can redeem.
he's
this,
also one of
like-
the best parts of Broly, which we'll watch next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's really good in that.
I'm sort of looking forward to that just because I heard of how much better it is. And
Yes.
the stakes have now been lowered with this movie. I mean, the expectations have been lower now because of
Yeah.
this movie. So yeah, it was just unfortunate. Again, I'm not a Dragon Ball fan. I don't watch Dragon Ball. I don't read Dragon Ball. I'm just watching this in preparation for the to review and watch and review Superhero. And when we talked about it on the podcast, it's just that I've had expectations for like Dragon Ball, and they were set along with Dragon Ball Z Kai and Battle of Gods, and they just didn't meet them. Like I said, a lot of the weak just characters standing around doing nothing.
Yeah.
You said Gohan just doesn't try.
Yeah.
And he himself's like, oh, that was my bad, guys. Yeah, it is your bad. You
Oh, that was
loser.
Goku. That was Goku.
Oh,
yes,
that's Goku?
This is that Goku said, it's all my fault, guys. And we were both like, yeah, no S, Sherlock. You know?
didn't try, you loser.
Exactly. And that's, there's a lot of people have a lot of problems with this film. And one of them, there are three main reasons. It's Gohan being weak.
Yeah.
Vegeta not getting to kill Frieza, and because Goku could have just yelled, "Vegeta, do it now!" and he would have killed him without, But Goku has to get the win because it's Dragon
or
Ball,
Vegeta not jumping in on the fight. Like they're them bickering just for the sake of Goku having a moment by himself. It's so dumb. Like all of a sudden they're arguing, like fighting each other when they're training with not Beerus. Who is the other? Whis. Like I'm like, why is this happening? Like I know you're like not there yet in terms of like where your rivalry friendship is, but this is dumb. Even like to where my expectations were.
No, they're pretty good in their rivalry and like it's not.
It's just like all of a sudden they're bickering with each other so much to the point of like, you have them, then I'll have my turn. Like this is so stupid, guys. An entire city was obliterated right before your eyes, and even though it was now fixed later on, but still.
And it's not like it's. And this is what a lot of Neo Dragon Ball has issues with is, the stakes. Especially with the Dragon Ball Super at the beginning. It feels like there's no stakes. Like, Goku treats everything like it's a game. Vegeta, is treating it seriously, but he's still treating it like it's nonchalant. Whenever not just the world, but the entire universe is at stake, which is something that gladly they fixed in the Universal Survival arc and Dragon Ball Super Broly. But it's just like these stakes, they are, stakes are important to a story. Conflict is important to a story. When the characters start to feel like there is no conflict or there is no stakes, we start to begin to think,
This felt like
why
filler.
are we watching this? And that's not just in Dragon Ball. That's not just in anime. That is in all storytelling ever.
And then you had like the mini fight that you had with all the other characters with with Frieza's army. Super boring. Again, it was
slow, right?
It was
Slow.
it was the same thing. It was just like fight, big attack. Oh no, there's more of them. They just did a copy and paste with every single character.
It was really slow.
They just had their own.
Yeah.
They just had their own version of that.
Yeah. And I was telling you, Edgar, like I was like, when we watch Super Broly next week, it's going to feel like gods are battling, like these superhuman beings are battling, and the camera is having a hard time keeping up.
Yeah.
And it's really cool for that way. And this one, they were just like,
That or when they're fighting real fast.
know?
Even I hate when I really don't like when Dragon Ball does the when they're fighting a lot.
Yes.
But they didn't even want to do that. They just did like white circle
The
like
white circles.
explosions, which they just used so many times.
And I
in
do
this.
have a reason for this. They were so out of practice for drawing and writing Dragon Ball Z battles. What else was Toei Animation doing? Oh, right, they were doing One Piece. For One Piece, this would be a pretty good fight, because Luffy, it would be interesting to watch him do his stretchy stuff and all that stuff. But for Dragon Ball, it's not interesting. It's these just punches. It's not interesting to watch, especially with a show that has been so formidable in drawing, real life martial arts into, animation, and then making it like fast. That's what people are interested in. It's martial arts or mixed martial arts or karate mixed in with these superhuman beings,
It's just that and the fighting. I mean, you mentioned it was slow. I don't know. It's just that wasn't much of it. It was slow in terms of everything, but in the fighting, it was. Yeah, you're right. You had more of a problem with it, but I do see what you're talking about because it was also a reason why the fighting just sucked. You mentioned like an attack, beat, or even when they were speaking, it was all the same. It was like blank, beat, doing something, beat.
Yeah.
Fighting, beat, speaking, beat. There's just like beats.
Let's
like,
see.
and, like,
let's
pauses
see what
in between.
Piccolo and Krillin think about this. Like, I don't care. Like, stop showing me that.
Yeah.
Like, you remember that one part where they were staring each other down, and then it zoomed in on Beerus, and then it zoomed in on Whis, and then it zoomed in on
Krillin,
everyone, and
like
Krillin went.
Krillin,
I'm like, what the heck? Like,
like, why did they show that?
And it's like, I do think this is like like from what I've seen from One Piece episodes, I feel like this is like just a bad One Piece episode,
I just don't. And like I said, like a reason why I don't like Dragon Ball that much, and they just shoved it all in here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like slow pacing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like fighting in midair. I don't like fighting in air because there's not much ground and weight to the punches and attacks. It's just like they kind of just get tossed around. Yeah, there's cool like energy beams and they had that in Battle of Gods, but it just wasn't Battle of Gods just had much more good stuff to where it overshadowed for that.
I think it's fine as long as they use the beams as the weight, If like the beams put them like if that's like their station, I think that's fine.
I know it's done in Dragon Ball a lot. It's just I just hated it a lot more here because of how much everything else sucked to the point where I couldn't be blinded by that. But
definitely.
I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
No, it definitely didn't work for me either.
And then you had,
and you had some of the most awful CG I've seen in a while. Like I didn't like the CG in this movie.
Yeah, because like the background.
Yeah, the backgrounds and the rocks.
The characters, like all the army, like when they move, which is like slow, like I don't know. It just wasn't. You can use CG a lot. It just wasn't used well here. And I don't know, it was just slow. And what made Battle Gods cool and enjoyable for me was just you get to see all these characters like interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And then there was sort of stakes because I was as much funny and silly as Beerus was having with that party in Battle of Gods. He was kind of like a ticking time bomb. And and you had
conflict. Yeah.
And then and then they used. then it just shoves the point to where like, why isn't anyone protecting the Dragon Balls? They're always trying to find them to make sure they don't get into the wrong hands. So once again, these three little losers like finding the Dragon Balls, and then like I don't know why
Edgar does not like the Pilaf King.
Oh man, I hate this
But
guy.
do you also think that having Beerus and Whis there, who are like infinite amounts stronger than Frieza, do you think that kind of alleviates some of the pressure of the fight?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially with like when Whis mentioned like, oh, I use time travel. Like, what? How much?
Like,
I
okay.
bet you a nickel. I bet you a nickel. They're gonna bring that up later.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Because even though they were like the highlight of the movie for me, there was such a big plot hole in it because they
Yeah.
could have easily fixed the problem. They could have They could have killed Frieza like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Frieza's like, I'm gonna destroy the world and kill Goku, like, and Beerus would have been like, oh no, bye, because I want this.
Spoilers for the Super anime.
Oh yeah,
That
like,
doesn't go away anytime soon.
Oh,
And
man.
it doesn't go away until the Goku Black arc. So there is a good
Goku turns
portion
black?
of Super that is just, you're just like, Beerus could just finish this so easily.
Yeah.
But he like I said, I do like the Universe Survival arc. That is a really great arc, and it puts Beerus on the sidelines in a great way, and so does Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
So does Super Broly. But
this movie, no.
yeah, no. Edgar, let's talk about some of the smaller stuff. Let's talk about Frieza's Hell. What do you think about that?
Oh, stupid.
You didn't like it?
It kind of I thought
it was silly.
I thought it was silly that when you're gonna bring Frieza
liked
back,
it.
why is that the first shot that you show? I get he's in hell, but they could have shown
Yeah.
that later because you're gonna bring Frieza back. You gotta kind of hype it up a
Yeah.
bit. Kind of like with one of the things I didn't like Spider-Man No Way Home is that they kind of undermined Green Goblin's entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought it'd be building up to the shot and it'd reveal his face, but it just cuts
he's
to
just
a
like,
face.
"Ah!"
Yeah, it just cuts to his face like
Yeah.
worried. Like why, you gotta when it comes to these villains, you gotta have to build up their
Yeah.
returns really well in order to hype up them because these are
These
fan
are
fan
icons,
favorites.
yes.
Yeah, they're fan favorites
Much
and they're
similar
icons.
to like Luke Skywalker was in The Mandalorian,
Yeah, that was built up well.
Yeah, of course.
Whether you liked or not that he was in the story, they built that up really well.
really well.
But with Frieza, they just didn't. And to me, I was like, oh, he's back again. Like, and I thought with him bringing them back, they would do something with them, but they didn't.
Yeah. There's a really good scene in the Super anime where he is back there and Goku goes there to free him, right? And the whole place becomes like a dark demonic hell version of it. And when Frieza gets freed, it's really cool. Those are some of the best Super anime episodes when Frieza returns.
Yeah.
And it's really great. Something else. What'd you think about the Frieza's henchmen?
I don't care about them.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't give one crap about them. They were like nothing to me.
Definitely.
I just liked one of the voice actors that was in it, and then he just died.
Yep.
I was like, the one thing I liked about one of them was they died. It was like the
Yeah.
voice of Soul from Soul Eater and from Black Clover, the dub actor. We're watching the dub again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Who
nothing
else?
else.
Yes, Jakku, the Galactic Patrolman.
Yeah, I was like, I recognize that character, and then he told me
We had some fun with him. We were chuckling at
yeah,
because
because I like Todd. I love Todd Hagcorn as a voice actor, and then
Yeah.
I liked his character design, and it teased that something interesting will happen.
Yeah.
Ben, you mentioned that he was in a manga that was completely separate from the Dragon Ball, but it was done
Yeah.
by Akira Toriyama, so he eventually tied it into the Dragon Ball universe.
Yeah, which is
super
great.
interesting and
Yeah.
cool.
Super fascinating. I believe. Now, don't get me wrong on this. I might be wrong, but I believe that's the last manga that Akira Toriyama ever drew.
Himself.
Himself.
He
because-
supervises a lot
yeah.
of Super, from what I know, but
because Toyotaro is the manga drawer, to some people unpopularly so, but yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
What else? Let's
it's
see.
just not a lot.
There is not a lot. There are a couple of things.
I just thought it was funny.
Oh, sorry. There's a whole bunch of foreshadowing in this movie. That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I just don't know it because I don't know
Yeah.
the relevance of it.
So in this movie, they talk about and tease Ultra Instinct, which I think is very fascinating. This was the part of the movie that I really liked, was the foreshadowing of things like Ultra Instinct, where if you watch this in 2015, you're like, what the hell? when he talks about you must move with your instincts and Goku is better at this than you are, Vegeta. Vegeta still hasn't unlocked Ultra Instinct, and he probably never will because he found a different way of doing it. Vegeta in the manga right now, he has something called Ultra Ego, which is what Beerus uses for his power, because Whis uses Ultra Instinct and Beerus uses Ultra Ego, which I think is really cool. And it's really fascinating that they're having like different forms. I like that because it differentiates Goku and Vegeta, because if Goku gets Super Saiyan 1, well then Vegeta's next thing has to be Super Saiyan 1. It's different for them now, which is fascinating. There's also a tease to the Galactic Patrol Force, which is what the Mora arc is about. And when Dragon Ball
or Star
Super
Command
returns,
from Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I say
Edgar compared it to Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
But when the Super Anime eventually does come back, and it will, that's what the Mora arc is about, is the Galactic Patrolman.
Yeah, I'm glad this wasn't completely useless of a movie.
No, definitely not. And those are my favorite parts.
And one thing, when Legend, the short film that was made by that one guy, the Dragon Ball story, one thing I liked about that fight was it was grounded. It was like, because like Vegeta powers up and he just jumps around. He just like jumps around and like he punches him on the ground. But that's just a personal choice, because obviously Dragon Ball is like in the air. You know, they're throwing beams and punching each other, and it could be done well, as I would imagine it, as it was in Battle of Gods, and as I would imagine it would be in Super and Broly. But here, it was at is worst when it was like that, because I just want the fighting to be well choreographed, and just shot well, and just grounded to where you could feel the physical momentum of each punch and toss and throw. Yeah,
one of the greatest Dragon Ball fights is Vegeta versus Goku when they first meet in the Saiyan Saga, and it's because it's exactly like you say. They use the ground and they use their flying as like punches, you know. Yeah. So they're on the ground and they jump up and they go and then they jump around, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's why Iron Man's fights are cooler, because he still fights on the ground, especially with Captain America, and compared to Superman and Man of Steel, where he's just punching them in the air and you kind of just don't care, and it feels weightless.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Flying does feel weightless at times, so you have to use something as a backboard, as a back spring, to get that power and grit.
It also helps coordinate with. It helps you figure out how fast they are compared to where the surroundings are.
Yeah, definitely.
A bit unfortunate for this movie.
Just real quick, what'd you think about Frieza's theme song?
I don't know what his theme song was.
Hey, let me pull it up.
Oh, is it that Japanese one? The
Frieza.
I thought that was the right. Frieza. I did notice that in the movie it used. There's this weird. It's not a meme, but there's this sound or music that's used that was thrown around TikTok to put in creepy, sinister vibes. It usually has to do with supernatural or crime stuff. But it was in this movie, and I was like, "Wait, is that from this? Is that sound from this movie?" It was just so weird. It happened with another anime, but it's always just so weird. I realized
Edgar's really good at picking up those like music and sound, because he's a big fan of movie. What's it called? Soundtracks.
Yeah, I love movie soundtracks. Yeah. I just like knowing the not just soundtracks, just like cinematography or acting, even voice acting. I like pointing out the stuff that not a lot of people know. I noticed that in one of the ringtones that on his Krillin's phone in this movie was One Piece's first opening.
I just would have thought it was one of the Dragon Ball openings, but it didn't even click in my mind that it was. Yeah. So Krillin is a One Piece fan, confirmed.
Yeah. I was just like, it's just the small things that I just like a lot that I just noticed. Definitely. Those are really the highlights for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Beerus and Whis, and I just wish that,
this is also
get good.
Yeah, exactly. This is also the movie that started the dumb Goku trend. Which is that became Goku has always been dumb. Let's be honest. Like, well, he's smart when it comes to fighting, but he's not too bright when it comes to other things. But like, he's never been dumb to the point where it's like, oh my god, make it stop. And in this movie, you get a taste of it. And Dragon Ball Super anime, it returns.
Sorry guys, I messed up like at the very end.
Oh my god, dude.
And then
we were
Reese
like,
was luckily, turn back time.
yeah. And
I was like, rewind time.
yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, Edgar made me laugh because when the planet blew up, Edgar went, oh my god, like whoa. And then Weiss came into the camera and he went, oh wait, rewind time.
because I knew he mentioned like time travel. He's able to reset it back.
So
I'm like,
hard.
well, I know what he's gonna do now.
So funny. I was like, oh my god, I haven't heard a rewind time meme in so long.
Oh man.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not the best movie in the planet, but I still enjoyed watching it and pointing out some of the stuff.
But
the voice actors. And
I'm
stuff
interested
like
to hear that now that apparently the best fan favorite one is to come now, which is Broly.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see what improves, what the mistakes were that they don't do in the next film.
Yeah.
Just the opposite basically. I'm expecting the opposite. Like I'm seeing what sucks now. I'm seeing like what is it that everyone loves about it so much. And this was a big film. I remember when did Broly come out?
Broly came out in 2019, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that being like everywhere. And
yeah,
it was a ridiculous like amount. I heard people talking about it. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I saw it with my friend Edgar,
Eric.
Whoops, with my friend Eric.
Yeah, I
who
remember.
knows nothing about Dragon Ball.
I think you still asked me then, like, do you want to come? I was like, no.
And and me and Eric, we were watching it, and we were like, oh my god, woo! It was great. And I saw it in movie theaters 4 times, so it's gonna be great to see.
Yeah, well, look forward to that. Like I said, I'll probably be way more happier with that reaction.
Yes.
Look forward to that on our next podcast episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it for me. Just a reminder, you guys, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you are interested in all the projects, interesting things, events, animes, manga coming out of Japan. We are here. The Manga Monday Show is here for you. So just check us out on everything: Spotify, Instagram, Anchor, YouTube, all that stuff. Just check us out, and we would be very thankful and happy to have you here.
I thought you were gonna say happy Christmas or Hanukkah or
happy,
Easter.
Blistering hot outside.
Happy holidays if you're celebrating anything.
If you're celebrating anything, yeah, maybe you
the
are.
Hotness, yeah.
Yeah, celebrate the hotness. Summer solstice is coming up, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know how you guys celebrate that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe by torching the world like in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, the sun is we're already doing that ourselves.
Well, that's Sozin's comment, not the summer solstice.
What happens to the summer solstice?
We'll catch you guys next week. No, I'm just kidding. Roku, I think that's when Roku, the door can be open.
Oh, the spirit world. They come.
Yeah, the spirit world gets open. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now we'll catch you guys next week on the next Manga Monday show.
Yep. Bye.